Is it my screen is visible? Thank you. So only 44 were joined. Right, I will come back. Okay, last two classes we missed out. We will reschedule these classes after some time. And now, right, the last class we started here. Just I will give a brief about this. Why security we discussed, and desirable security properties we discussed, confidentiality, integrity, availability, authentication, non-repudiation, and access control. And after that, we discussed about the cryptography. We have two type of cryptography mechanisms are there, generally symmetric key encryption and asymmetric key encryption. After that, okay, we briefly discussed about the hashing, right? Then after, okay, information security related, okay, this particular diagram we discussed in our class. 1 minute. Right. Here information is more important for us. This information is going to be encrypted with help of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That means we are protecting this information with help of these three elements. After that, we want to share this particular information. We require some softwares and some of the hardware components, as well as whenever you are connecting to the remote hosts, so the communication is going to play a crucial role. So we need a communication software and hardware. After that, we discussed about this one. Different type of securities are there. Broadly, we may classify different securities. Broadly, you can see three type of securities: data security, computer security, and network security. We had a little discussion about, okay, this data security and computer security and network security. The finally different type of attacks we discussed in the last class. Security attacks are there. Okay, they are interruption, modification, fabrication. The interception attacks are mainly targeted confidentiality. Interruption attacks are going to be targeted on availability. Modification attacks are going to be targeted on integrity, and fabrication is going to be comes under the authentication based attacks. Finally, the one of the computer scientists, he classified two type of attacks. One is a passive attack, other one is an active attack. So your interruption, modification, and fabrication, these three are comes under active attacks. Interception comes under passive attack. Right? This we discussed. Up to this point, we discussed in the last class. Okay. Now you might be observe this particular diagram. If there is no attack and system is functioning properly, then that means the communication is going to be like this. The both ends are going to be connected fairly, and no interruptions are there. These two are legitimate. So mainly communication designed for that one only. Two legitimate people needs to be communicate. Unfortunately, many attackers are act in between the legitimate users. That's why we need to protect our information. First of all, we want to protect our information. We require to know what kind of attacks are possible on this particular communication or information transfer. First one is going to be interruption. Observe, this is the interruption. Suppose somebody may cut the wires. There is no communication. Jamming the wireless signals, no communication. Other one is going to be, suppose drop the packets. example I will let you know. Small example I will give you. You try to understand how availability based attack is going to be happening. Suppose you have a flight at 5 p.m. Generally, the airlines are going to be inform you prior to 2 hours to your scheduled time. Any particular updates are there, they will update. Suppose somebody may receive a false message. Your flight was preponed information. Preponed information. Then you will reach before the time. Second point. Your flight was preponed, but you were unable to receive that message. Why? Because somebody planted, somebody dropped, so many messages towards your device, so that your device is going to be process that whole information. That means your device is busy, so that the actual message is not received at your end. Then what do you think? You think, okay, my flight scheduled at 5 o'clock. I have a time, so that I will reach the airport by 4 o'clock. That's sufficient for me. But that is not the way. So why? Because your actual preponed information was delayed, not reached to your mobile phone. Once you reach at airport, you will find the message. Then you will feel, okay, how it is happened. That means these kind of attacks comes under attacks on availability. Now, our lecture is going on. Somebody may bombard DDoS, that means any bogus packets towards to my system or towards the MNIT network. The MNIT network is going to be crashed. If MNIT is going to be down, you are unable to receive my packets. But because MNIT complete network, you may observe one firewall, that means one end is there. That means the core switch is there. The core switch is going to be forward all these packets towards the various destinations. Suppose you may try to attack on that. So all the packets which I am delivering, that means my system is forwarding from here, that might not be reached to you. If that are not going to be reached to you, you are unable to attend for the class. We are not connected. That's called attack on availability. An asset of the system is destroyed or become unavailable or unusable. That we call it as an attack on the availability. Next one is going to be interception. How interception is going to happen? Two legitimate users are communicating. The eavesdropper is going to be perform this kind of activity. That means he's receiving all the information is going between these two legitimate users. This is we called wiring or eavesdrop. I think most of you understand this one, right? So this is an unauthorized party gains access to an asset. This attack we call it as an attack on confidentiality, the modification. Whatever information forwarding this legitimate user is received by the Eve and is going to be replace the information and forward that information to the other end. That means complete information forwarded from here, that whole information received by this Eve and replaced with some other content and forwarded to the another legitimate user. This attack is called it as modification attack. It's called modification attack. Very clear? So an unauthorized party not only gains access to but tampers with an asset. This attack is called attack on integrity. This is simply, we can say, fabrication attack. Ali, this is here he is replacing, that means impersonate like Ali is sending the message to this end. This is called fabrication. Okay. Any doubts now? Okay, what are the attacks are there? How these attacks perform? Any doubts you have right now? Please, can you post any questions if you have? So what are the attacks are there? Anybody can type here and send it to me in the chat box. Yeah, because I have some problem with this one. Wait, I will do one thing. So now, is it fine? This is fine now, all of you? Okay, thank you. Any questions? These are the most important part in our course. You try to understand Kent's classification. We have passive attack and active attack. I told you what is a passive attack, what is an active attack. So you must understood all these type of attacks, right? If you understood half of the course, you are completed. Why? Because most of the time we are going to play with this kind of attacks only, right? I will come back. Criteria for desirable crypto system. Till now, what we discussed, some attacks are there, so that we need to be built secure systems. If you want to design secure systems, you require to consider some parameters. What are the parameters we need to be considered? That are, one is the confidence in security established. Here a simple question I want to ask you. Please answer for me who are available. You have two major things are there. One is a Paytm, other one is going to the Google Pay. Which one you would like to feel more secure? I want to see everyone has to be answer for this question. So that I'm going to be assess. So Divya said, okay, Google Pay. Anand, GPay. Okay, right. We are all computer science. We know how to judge this one. Some people, Abhishek said Paytm. So the majority of the people said, okay, Google Pay. Who said Paytm? How can you say Paytm is providing a better security for us compared to Google? Can you post something, a small answer for me, so that we try to understand what is the meaning of the statement. So out of whoever submitted, except one or two, everybody said that GPay only, Google Pay only. Why you are saying have you analyzed both the apps? Which one is providing more security? Which one is providing less security? How the Google Pay is providing more security? How Paytm is providing very less security? Okay, Google provides 6-layer security for its data, right? So what are the 6 layers? May I know? UPI password, both. Okay, Paytm is also going to be use UPI and password. Okay, that is not the big difference actually. So what I want to say to you, the simple question mine is, here my first point, you try to understand confidence in security established. Means everybody habituated, and we are using Google products like Gmail, okay, or Google Maps or Google Search, like that. We know Google provides better security than the other companies which are there right now, right? But we don't know, we never investigated Google Pay security, how it is, and Paytm security, how it is, what level of security they are maintaining. Is they maintaining the equal security or not? These we are not checking. Simple example I will tell you, and one more example I will ask you. Why these are all points related to our first point only. You have SBI Bank, online SBI banking accounts are there for us, and generally in our campus we're using ICICI banking accounts also. In these two banks, which one provides better security for us? Can you answer for this one, all of you? Yeah, SBI. Right. Most of you are okay agreeing with me, SBI. How we can see the better security aspect here? A simple point only. Why? Because you understand very well what is the, how okay we need to measure the security purpose, security things. So SBI can easily be trusted because okay, it's a nationalized bank. That is one reason. That one reason. No. All banks are going to be follow the guidelines of Reserve Bank of India. Right. Okay. So that okay, that the data will be saved for every bank. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the security aspects point of view only. I would like to say one more point. Vinush. What more? Is it something? May I know what is it? So here you need to be observed. One-time password, which that means okay, SBI one-time password is more that has more digits, or ICICI password has more digits. That's enough to understand the level of security they're maintaining. Right? Okay, more number of users are there in SBI, and trust is also there. Why? Because it's a government banking. I'm talking about the security aspect. In the security aspect, you may observe one-time password, how many digits are there for both the banks. In ICICI, generally what is there? Your debit card is there, debit card backside, fixed numbers are there. Generally, they will use that as a one-time password. Right? But okay, SBI, every transaction, how many digits right now they're using? More than 8 digits they're using right now. More than 8 digits they're using. But okay, at the same time, your ICICI has 6 digits only. That means the probability to guess the number is more high in SBI compared to ICICI. That is another reason to check the level of the security. Right. And third thing, okay, I want to say to you, CAPTCHA used while you are going to be logged in. It is a mandatory now SBI, but that is not mandatory for okay, ICICI. So these are going to be built. That means these are going to be provide lot of okay. That means okay, a lot of information to you to understand what level of the security these two banks are providing. That's why the first of all, you want to develop any product, any security product. First, you need to be create a confidence in security. Confidence in security. That means your data is not revealed to anyone. That you need to be say. That means that you need to be provide. That is the first point I'm using in my slides. So if you want to develop any crypto system, the first point you need to be keep everybody is going to be accept your security mechanism. So that is okay. He is going to is it okay? Is it based on the hard or intractable problems, or how can I know the method is secure? These two we answered with the help of okay, small examples. Next, practical efficiency. One is the space, time, and so on. Example I will provide you. What is the practical efficiency and okay, remaining okay, explicitness, protection tuned to application needs, and openness. You need to be okay, understand very easily, not more than that. But here, practical efficiency is what? Practical efficiency means you go to ATM. How many digit PIN number we have? 4-digit PIN number we have. If suppose you may enter 4-digit PIN number, it is providing a better security for you. You think, but okay, it takes a little few minutes. Little few minutes means at least 2 minutes. I'm not talking about the seconds. I'm talking about the 2 minutes. Are you able to stand over there? The generations are not able to stand over there. That's why better security is required, but efficiency of the security mechanism is going to be more with respect to time. With respect to time. And with respect to computation, also going to be, it should be efficient. So that is these two are the major okay, that means entities or items we can say to develop any crypto system. Right. After that, okay, you have explicitness, protection tuned to the application needs, openness. These are all required. That we will discuss on the later. Why? Because we don't have a time. That's why I want to go fast. And whatever it is, security first. Rest of the things are going to be next. What are the rest of the things are there? The next efficiency, your resource utilization, and security trade. These are comes under the security trade-offs. Example: this is especially the case for resource constrained networks such as a wireless sensor network. Limited power supply is there, limited storage space is there. So that again, the different IoT and IoT related concepts comes into our lives. Then the security aspects are going to be changed. Are you clear? So now what is important for us? Security is important. Rest we will think about the next only. How a security model is there? How a security model is there? I think most of you understand that how a security model is there. I would like to ask, who is providing a credit card to you? Who is providing a credit card to you? So Vijay Swami is asking, sir, what is the use of CAPTCHA? The use of CAPTCHA is for to protect from denial of service attacks. So we have network protocols are there. In the network protocols, we studied TCP/IP reference model. In the TCP/IP reference model, the very important protocol is TCP. TCP provides a connection-oriented connections to us, and generally we will use this TCP for end-to-end communication. Whenever you are using this TCP, three-way handshaking is the starting point for this TCP protocol. So there only the attackers are targeting. What is the first message we will send? Synchronization message. Without synchronization message, no, the client is unable to connect to the server. The same way, they will bombard with so many synchronized messages. Synchronization messages, they will bombard like anything. And your server needs to treat all packets are same. So it has to be processed. Then only it will send sync plus acknowledgement message. So that if suppose some bot is going to be sending a lot of messages to the banking server is busy to process the packets, and actual legitimate packets are delayed, so that that may be caused to server is going to be down. To protect from that, they are using this CAPTCHA. That we will discuss. In our discussion, a lot of problems are going to become. We'll discuss that. Right? Here, my question is, who is providing a credit card or debit card to you? Can you answer for this? Anurag said banks. Any other? Bank, Sujit Kumar. Remaining people, please answer, so that I would like to understand if you are okay with me. Few people, okay, Anand Kumar said bank. Everybody said bank. Right. Most of you said okay, bank only. What I understood, you might be seeing your credit card or debit card carefully. You have been seen, you seen or not? Suppose you might be seen. I want to open. So my debit card is visible to you, right? Here you might be seen who is provided this. Any top. We have a banking information. This card belongs to HDFC Bank and provided by Visa. So bank is not going to be provided a card to you. Who will provide? Visa or MasterCard. Divya said okay. Divya and Aditya said okay. This is correct. Okay. This is going to be provided by Anurag also said okay. Visa, MasterCard. These are, we call it as a trusted third parties. What we call trusted third parties. These trusted third parties are going to be provide cards to you, and inside, like, if you may observe the card backside, what will be there? A thin tape is there, thin black color tape is there. You might be observed that. What is there inside that? A black thin layer, okay, tape is there. That we call it as a magnetic tape. Krishna Kishore said, okay, this is a magnetic tape. Yes, correct. What is there in that what information is there inside that, okay, magnetic tape? Your certificates are there. Your digital certificates are there. Right? Your digital certificates are there. That's why whenever you are going to be swiped, that are going to be, okay, encrypted with your private key. That means that is a digital signature. Digital signature is going to be used to provide, that means used to say you are a legitimate user, you are an authenticated user, like that. We'll come back. So why I'm asking this question, all of you, please be careful. This card is issued by the trusted third party. Banks are not going to issue any card to you. Banks we call it as a financial institutes. What we call financial institutes. They will check your account information, means whether you have a sufficient funds are there or not. That only they will monitor. Rest of the things are going to be monitored by the trusted third parties only. These trusted third parties are like Visa, MasterCard, all those, right? So if I want to develop a security model, what would be the elements I need to be considered? What would be the elements I need to be considered? You might be observed here. Who are there? One is a sender. Sender is, we call it as a legitimate user, and receiver is also called it as a legitimate user. Sender and receiver both are legitimate users, right? And sender requested something, and receiver is going to receive something. Before that, sender is not known to the receiver, receiver is not known to the sender. But how the communication is going to be, okay, that means how the information securely transfer between these two users. So like this, just you observe. Sender is sending a message to a receiver. Before sender is sending a message to the receiver, sender needs to verify the credentials of the receiver. So that what his sender will do, sender is going to be communicate with the trusted third party. Why? Trusted third party maintains all legitimate users details. Trusted third party maintains all legitimate user details. So that, okay, what sender will send, oh, I want to communicate with the receiver. Please let me know whether the receiver is a legitimate user or not. If he is a legitimate user, please provide a session key to me so that I am able to communicate with the receiver. So sometimes we call that as a token. Sometimes we call it as a token. So that what, okay, the trusted, okay, this particular, okay, trusted third party will do, he will verify the receiver credentials, and he is going to be encrypt that, okay, information with help of his private, is a shared key between the trusted third party and receiver, and forwarded to sender. Sender uses the same information and encrypt with the provided token or a session key that is going to forward to the principal, this receiver, right? Whenever receiver received this one, he is going to be check the credentials of the sender. So whenever he is going to be communicate with the sender is going to be the trusted third party. Sorry, sender is forwarded to receiver. Receiver is going to be talk to the trusted third party. Trusted third party is provided required credentials to the receiver. With help of that, he is going to be check and find that, okay, session key which provided by this trusted third party. After that, he will say, oh, this is our session key, so that we will start our communication. In between, who will be there? Suppose, okay, there is a communication is going on between these two. Who will be there? Attacker will be there. What is the attacker will do? He is trying to capture the information and trying to guess the username and password information, right? And or he tries to, that means create something towards to this communication. All these things are going to be done by the attacker. That means whatever security model you may develop, you need to be consider one of the element is going to be the attacker. I will come to you. Simple example. I will explain the total procedure. You want to buy a small t-shirt where you will go. Generally, we have a GT Mall and World Trade Park nearby. You will go there. Generally, we will not pay from our we will not pay generally through cash. Generally, we habituated. We will use the wallets or some other digital cards. Suppose you are using a credit card, suppose, or debit card. You assume it. In that case, you are a sender and receiver is going to the merchant. Whenever you just provided a card to the merchant is going to verify all the credentials. At the same time, okay, the trusted party is going to be also talked about, discuss with you through SMS or something XYZ. Generally, this message is communicated through bank only. You may ask me simple question, sir. Okay, I never communicate with the trusted party. Trusted third party provided card to you. So your credentials are available with the trusted third party. Whenever you approached the bank, whenever you approached any merchant, the merchant, whenever is going to be swipe your card, automatically your credentials are going to be forwarded to the trusted third party to verify. Once verification process is over, you are a legitimate user, and he is also a legitimate user. Then only the transaction is going to be performed. So while the transaction is going to perform, in your card, how much funds are available, that will be checked by the financial institute. So that is not part in this diagram. That is going to be a fifth element in our discussion, right? So this is the whole procedure we need to be understand before we are going to be start our course. That is. So this is the basic introduction to our course. So what we try to understand, we want to understand what is the security. Second point, if we need a security, what type of attacks are possible? If these kind of attacks are possible, how to protect our information while we are transmitting the information. Right, there are three types are there. We discussed data security is required, and computer security is required, and network security is required. So that all we cover in our course, and I will come to you. So this is the starting of our class. Introduction is over. Till now we discussed only introduction of our class. So first we need to be talk about the confidentiality. What we discussed a few concepts. What are they? Confidentiality. Second one is going to be integrity. Third one is availability. I said availability we are not discussing. Why we are not discussing availability? That we discussed already in the computer networks course. So that's we need to discuss. And fourth point is going to be non-repudiation. We'll discuss access control, authorization. These are the 6 elements are there. Out of these 6 elements, we are talking about 3 elements only mainly. One is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But availability is not part of our course. So mainly we are concentrating 2 major things. One is the confidentiality, other one is going to be the integrity. You keep in mind. So first we will complete these 2, then remaining topics we'll discuss in the class. The first we started confidentiality. So what is the attack scenario? Before we need to be develop a confidentiality, we try to understand what is the attack scenario. So we studied plain text, ciphertext, encryption, decryption, cryptography, cryptology. These topics we already discussed in the class, in the starting class. Now I want to share with you. There is a ciphertext only attack is there. There is a plain text based attacks are there, or chosen plain text attack is there. Chosen type of ciphertext attack is there. Example I will tell you. Ciphertext only attack means it's a basic type of attack. This is the first attack. You send a packet. That packet is in the form of encryption. Encryption form means that we call it as a ciphertext. So anybody can see that ciphertext. If I know your ciphertext, I may try to find what algorithm you used, but you have so many algorithms are there, you might be using one of the algorithm. So that if suppose I may analyze the ciphertext, I may try to predict your plain text information as well as your key information. So if I know your plain text, how you converted a plain text to ciphertext, that will be help to me to know about your key. So that's why ciphertext only attack is the basic attack here. The second one is going to the known plain text attack. I know your plain text, but I don't know your cipher mechanism, enciphering method. I try to find that, and after that I will find your key. Chosen plain text attack. Chosen plain text attack means I will guess, oh, this might be your plain text. This is going to be your plain text, your ciphertext. I will apply so many encryption algorithms. I will try to generate so many ciphertext, and I will compare. This is matching with anyone. This is matching with anyone. I will check like that. That's why the chosen plain text is you randomly choose any plain text and you create generate a ciphertext, and you receive a ciphertext. Compare generated ciphertext with the receiver ciphertext, so that you will try to understand. Okay, oh, this might be the encryption mechanism. Once you understand this might be the encryption mechanism, next you are able to find the key. Chosen ciphertext attack. This is the most common and final attack. It is. Why? Because most of the attacks are going to be first to check whether this is protect from the chosen ciphertext attacks or not. Right. In the chosen ciphertext attack, where the adversary is even given the capability to obtain the decryption of any ciphertext is of its choice. So he is going to be determine the plain text from the ciphertext. That we will discuss. These particular concepts, mainly we need to be concentrate the chosen plain text attack and chosen ciphertext attack. This we call it as a CPA attack, CPA or CCA. Keep in mind, one is the CPA, other one is the CCA, and another one is their adaptive chosen ciphertext attack. That we call it as CCA2 attack. Keep in mind, CPA means chosen plain text attack. CCA means chosen ciphertext attack. One more variant is there, that is chosen ciphertext attack 2. In your examination, generally I will ask like that only. Some data I will provide, and please perform CPA attack on this, CPA on this, or please perform CCA on this. So don't confuse it. That are the different type of attacks are there. The very basic mechanism. Cryptography started now. It was not earlier. Yes, it is there before Christ itself. Right. So why this security is required? We are communicating over a insecure channel. Alice, Bob, and Eve are there. Alice, Bob are legitimate users, but Eve is not a legitimate user. Right. So mainly we need to be concentrate two concepts of privacy and authentication. The many people are going to be confused. What is privacy? What is authentication? Or what is security? Privacy and security both are different entities. As far as my opinion, I can say these two are different components. Right. So that's why we are not concentrating on privacy. We are concentrating on security only. So what is privacy? We should not have any information about the content of the message exchange between Alice and Bob. We don't know about where is coming, where is going, who is initiated, who is receiving this message. This kind of information we don't know. We don't want we don't know that. That is comes under our privacy. That is going to be if you want to secure all those, that means that comes under a privacy only. You might use some security methods for that to ensure privacy. Authentication means only we need to be allow authorized users only. So that's why you should not able to impersonate Alice. And every time that Bob receives a message from Alice, he should be ensured of the identity of the sender. Right. The task of encoding a message to preserve privacy is called encryption. Right. The second one is going to be security key, symmetric key encryption have been studied for literally thousands of years. We discussed two type of algorithms are there, symmetric key algorithms and asymmetric key algorithms. The symmetric algorithms are studied from since long. Right. So first of all, we need to be studied. There are two type of techniques: are there substitution techniques and transposition techniques. What is a substitute technique? Means two basic building blocks of all encryption techniques are substitution and transposition. Substitution is a technique is one which the letters of plain text are replaced by other letters or by numbers or by symbols. Various substitution ciphers were invented in cultures having an alphabetical writing system. The secret key is permutation of the set of the letters of the alphabet. We'll see that how. The first used cipher is going to be Etbash cipher, used for Hebrew, in which the first letter of the alphabet is replaced with the last, the second letter with the second last, and so on. It is used in the book of Jeremiah. It is used in the book of Jeremiah. And very popular one after that is going to be Julius Caesar cipher. So here what we will do, each letter is shifted by 3 positions in the alphabet. Right? So the Caesar cipher involves replacing each letter of the alphabet with the letter standing 3 places further down the alphabet. Suppose I have an example. You find this one, meet me after toga party. This is how I am replacing. M is replaced with P, E is replaced with H, and so on. M after N, N after O after P. That means third letter we are replacing with the letter. M replaced with P. So suppose I may use this kind of ciphers right now. Is it good? No. Just you observe how cryptanalyzer is going to be analyzed. How cryptanalyzer is going to be analyzed. So how many possible English letters are there? 26 are there. Already you used 1. So that how many keys you need to be replaced? 1 to 25 only. Suppose all possible replacements I may find out. That means from the first letter to the 25th letter. That means after P, so suppose here P is there. I may start with O, then N, then with M, and so on. Then after L, K, and so on. Suppose I may replace with the next letter P after O, H after G, and W after V. We will get after in the sense of before the letter M. So before letter is going to be N, then after M. Suppose you not like that. You may start with the Q. P immediate letter is going to be Q. You may start with the Q from here. How many iterations are required for you? Suppose you may start with the Q. You at max you required 22 iterations. 23rd iteration you will get the result. Right? Or you may go back. Suppose I may go back. Go back means from P before letter is going to be O. Before letter is going to be N, and so on. If I may start, then at third iteration only I will get the readable information. Are you understand? Encryption techniques or substitute techniques or permutation techniques or transposition techniques, whatever the techniques we will use, we will replace the existing letter into some other letter. That means a readable information we are converting into unreadable information. We are converting a readable information into unreadable information. Same thing. So what we need to do, whatever unreadable information is there, we are converting to readable information. That we call it as a decryption. So now here, cryptanalysis is going to be just exchange, that means swap the letters. That means change the letters. After third iteration, they will find the exact readable information. Remaining all are unreadable information except this third one. You keep in mind. So this is the way cryptanalyzers are going to be analyzed your encryption information. The cipher text information. What is the key here? Key is going to be 3. Key is going to be 3. So that's a very easy. Nowadays it's not going to be a good mechanism. That's why monoalphabetic substitution. Instead of 4, why can't I use 5? Why can't I use 6? Why can't I use 7? Why can't I use 20? Even though you may do that, what this only you may perform substitution technique. How cryptanalyzer will analyze? He is going to be check the frequency of each and every letter. Frequency of frequency uses of these letters are given here. The highest usage is going to be E. It's more than 30. It's almost up at 12.5 like that. After that T. After that A. So that okay, if you have encryption value, that means unreadable value. First highest appeared letter is going to be replaced with E. The second appeared letter you replace with T. So this is called a dictionary based attacks. This we call it as a dictionary based attacks. Okay, or you understand? So mono, suppose you may change instead of 3 to 4, 4 or 5, 6, 7, or like that, any random value you may use from 1 to 25, that are very easy to analyze with help of the English letter frequencies. English letter frequencies. So that is also not good. That's why they modified a little with Visioner cipher. Varnam cipher is there. Like so many ciphers are there. These all ciphers we call it as a classical cryptography mechanisms. Classical cryptography mechanisms. Here in Visioner cipher, what they will use? Shift the cipher with the multiple words. Here key is going to be cafe. Always you need to be use cafe, and the resultant is going to be your the letter T plus 3 UVW. So C is a 3, A is a 1, E plus 1, F is going to be replaced here, and so on. This is also very easy to find out. Simplified encryption mechanism, simplified model for symmetric encryption is going to be, we have a plain text. We will use provide that as input to any encryption algorithm like your AES, DES, all those. We will study that. And top secret key you need to be provided as input. It provides ciphertext to you. That ciphertext is in the form of C is equal here by written, but generally we will use C. C is equal to E of K comma X. And then while you are decrypting that with help of decryption algorithm, just you are reversing the encryption process, and you apply a key and provide ciphertext as input to this decryption algorithm, so that you will get your plain text. That we call, generally we will use M here. M is equal to D of K comma Y, the plain text. Right. So what I want to say to you, I don't want to discuss much about the classical encryption mechanisms. That's why I introduced 2 classical encryption mechanisms to you. You study your own. Study your own, and whatever we discussed till now, I will conduct your quiz from tomorrow onwards. So you try to study from the textbooks. So any questions are there? Please let me know, so that I will finish this. I will close and I will complete my session. If you have a questions, please say yes. If you don't have any questions, say no. That's enough for me. Okay, thank you. We'll meet tomorrow. Right. You can attend for your next class. Thank you.